Hey everybody, it's Casey here at Sea Run Fly and Tackle, and today we're going to get a little controversial. We're going to tie a mop fly. Not something that everybody's going to be super stoked that we're talking about. Not all fishermen like these things, but you know what? I don't care. I like catching them, and this fly catches them. So hang out, we'll tie a cool one, see what we can do. Alright, let's get controversial. Let's tie a mop fly. So, for this guy, Ahrex FW 541, that's a barbless curved nymph hook, or scud hook, or whatever you want to call it. I'm using a size 12. With that, I have an OfishL metallic coffee or metallic brown brass bead in 7/64ths. And for thread, I'm going to use Olive Done Uni 6/0. Obviously color to match, or somewhat resemble the colors of the materials that you're tying with, just so that it hides in there. So secure my thread in just behind the bead. I'm going to trim my tag there. And I'm not going to go back very far on this. I'm probably just going to let my thread dangle right about in line with the hook point, maybe just a hair forward of that hook point, just so that it's not swinging back and forth. I'm going to nick itself on there. The majority of the body on this is going to be tied with Hareline UV Galaxy Mop Chenille in olive brown. And this is a pretty cool material. Looks a lot like a lot of the other chenilles that are available on the market, but it's got a little bit of a stiffer texture to it. It's got that little bit of flash in there as well too. Makes a really, really buggy looking fly. So with this, just to keep the end from fraying, which with this stuff it's not very likely to fray, but hitting it with a lighter will give it a little bit of a natural taper on the end, just kind of like you would see on a caddis, and it'll also darken it up a little bit on this olive, kind of giving it a little bit of a black spot. Kind of looks like the caddis is kind of poking out there. So just hit it with the bic there real quick, and you can see what I'm talking about, how it darkens up the end. Actually makes a really, really realistic caddis imitation, which is part of the controversy with this fly. It's up there with like the Boobie and the Squirmy Wormy in some people's minds, that it makes it too easy. I mean, which I don't find is always the case. I mean, fishing doesn't always have to be hard. We can make it really, really difficult sometimes, but why? I like catching them. So I've trimmed off a little bit of a section here. Kind of what I'm looking at is maybe double the hook shank in length, maybe just slightly less. And I'm going to pull some of this fluff off of the core, which is a little bit easier said than done with this material. Like I said, it's not very likely to unravel, but sealing it with that heat in the end is definitely a worthwhile step. So we'll pick at that a little bit, expose some of that core, and that just gives us a cleaner tie-in point. And again, we're going to tie that in, so that's kind of sitting back. Again, with that thread sort of just forward of my hook point there. Don't let the purists catch you with this one. But like I said, very, very effective fly. Works great in the rivers and in lakes as well. I mean, they've been around for a few years now. I'm sure, the majority of you guys have heard about them. It's definitely a cool little pattern. So we've got that in, or that mop chenille tied in. Now for the front, we're going to use some Arizona Diamond Dub in dark hare's ear. Cool dubbing. It's got a little bit of flash in it. It's not super bright or gaudy or anything like that, but looks really, really nice on the fly. Great for tying leeches and stuff with too. Pro tip. You can use a dubbing loop if you like. I'm a big dubbing loop guy. With this, it's not totally necessary. can just make a quick dubbing noodle, twist this in, and then we'll hit it with a dubbing brush or a dubbing comb after. Going for a little bit of contrast between sort of the body and the thorax here. You can go darker, you can play with different colored beads as well too, you know, golds, blacks, that kind of thing. You can do a dark gray thorax, black, you know, let your imagination run wild. But we're just going to dub this guy in. Maybe add a little bit more, because once I pick it out, it'll slim it down a little bit. But these are quick fly to tie. And like I said, very, very, very effective. You can tie this with a variety of different hooks as well too. I'll Euro nymph this pattern, so I'll tie it with a tungsten slotted bead or like a head turner bead on a jig hook. I mean, obviously with this scud hook is a popular method as well, especially if you're going to fish it in the lakes. I mean, you can hang it under an indicator on the jig hook. I mean, a million different ways you can tie this, but the concept's the same, and I just kind of wanted to show it to you guys. So I've got that diamond dub thorax spun in, and now I'm just going to whip my thread in behind the bead there. Make sure it's just seated nice. Second whip finish for good luck. And now I'm just going to hit it with my trusty Renzetti dubbing brush, or teaser, or comb, or whatever you want to call it. Makes it look a little bit more buggy. And there you have it. The mop fly. Really cool pattern to try out. Like I said, not a favorite of everybody that's out there, but if you're open to trying new things, definitely worth a shot. As you can see, that sucker looks stupid realistic. I can't see why a fish wouldn't eat that on any given day. Play with your colors. You know, bright colors as well too. You can do cool things, you know, make sort of more attractor styles like our blobs, like our boobies with, you know, oranges, pinks, peach kind of colors. And then, you know, the more natural sort of colors, your tans, your olives and stuff like that will be closer imitations to a natural insect. But yeah, play around with them, give them a try this season, see how you like them. I think you will. But yeah, keep following us for more content. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you want to purchase any of these materials, we'll have the materials linked below. You can get them in the shop, come see us, or check them out online, www.c-run.com. Thanks again for watching, everybody.